Hi to all the ACCA students. I am Punya Aggarwal, ACCA affiliate and co-founder of Being ACCA. In this video, I'll be giving you several points which you should keep in mind before you are actually thinking of starting with ACCA. Some things which you should actually know before you start ACCA. So let's begin. The first one is that you should do a proper background research about the qualification. Not because, you should not enroll with ACCA or do ACCA because somebody has told you that, if you do this you'll get a better opportunity or something. Everybody should know their own journey, should know that whether this will be helpful for them or no. So do your own background research. I think that's really crucial before you invest your time, money, and your mind also to such a qualification. So always talk to people who have already done ACCA. You can reach out to people on LinkedIn. You can check out a lot of YouTube videos which are available. You can also reach out to us as well to get to know more about the same, because qualification researching about it is really very important. Knowing that how many papers are there, what is the timeline, what is the pass rate, what all does it contain, how to study, what are the resources, that's really important, right? Next thing is, a lot of students get into the dilemma of whether they should take exemptions or no. Again, that is something which you should put your mind into it. Do not be just like, you want to easier on your hard work and then you take the exemption and you've not even studied that does not make any sense. Because I've seen people who are just enrolling after their 12th with ACCA, and because somebody is telling them that yes, you are eligible for exemption, so you should go for the exemption, that does not make any sense. Even if you are eligible for an exemption, but if you're a fresher, that means if you're starting just after 12th, I don't think so that you should take exemption, because the knowledge level is actually the base of you to start understanding what ACCA is. We have made a detailed video about this also, so you can check that out as well. But I'm saying that exemptions is not equal to understanding, right? That's another thing. Now, third thing I would say is about the fee structure and how much do you spend on the qualification. That is again really important. A lot of people feel that ACCA is expensive. I say it's average. It's not expensive. It's not too expensive. It's not cheap also. You will be able to do if you mindfully invest into the qualification in terms of the resources and the classes, the exam fee, etc. If you mindfully invest into it, then you're not going to spend more than 3.5 to 3.75 lakh rupees INR on the qualification, including your exam fees, including the tuition fees, etc., everything included. So I think that is really important. And connecting to that point, I think, is the next point, which is regarding the coaching institutes also. Now, I have already made a brief video about this topic because quite recently we have been seeing a lot of scams and manipulations, all of these happening. Especially, I'm not really sure if it happens in the other qualifications or no, but I am sure it is happening in ACCA fraternity, and a lot of coaching institutes are scamming ACCA students. So I've made again separate video regarding that as well. But I'm just saying that do not mindlessly again invest your money into a coaching institute, because their marketing tactics are very strong, right? Again, do your own research, ask people, and then only get into a particular institute. All right, no particular institute is good for all the ACCA papers. You have to check out the faculty that they're offering. I think the faculty is the main thing. You cannot just go by the institute's name, right? You will not come for Being ACCA, you'll come for me, or you'll come for Tushita, for example, right? So that is why it is important. So again, that is very prevailing. So all the people who are new, please make sure that you're not falling into any such traps, any such scams. Another thing which is kind of again related to this is that in our ACCA journey, because ACCA is still booming, it's still something which is not very common or very frequent or very famous, that a lot of people, and especially in India, are doing. So I know that it can sometimes feel very lonely. You can feel alone in your journey because nobody in your family has done it, nobody in your friends is doing it. Again, that is very common. Do not feel yourself as alone. You should join some networking groups, WhatsApp groups, LinkedIn groups, etc., so that you get better understanding of the same, and you also have friends who are doing the same qualification. Not even friends, at least acquaintances. You can talk about your doubts, your queries, your hesitations, etc., with them. right? So we also being SSA, we have a lot of WhatsApp groups which has a lot of students, like more than 1100 students are already there in that particular group. So you can probably join and try and interact with people. I think that will really help you once you are getting into such a qualification which requires you to have that peer conversations with your fellow mates. So that's that. Next point let's talk about is, once you have enrolled in ACCA, make sure that you are not rushing into the papers. Of course, there is, we always have a target with ourselves. We know that, okay, in 1 year or in 2 years, I need to complete these papers or I need to complete my qualification. But mind you that sometimes rushing can lead to failure as well, right? So it's always, your priority should always be quality over quantity. Even if you're doing, like I personally, if I talk about, I did my ACCA journey in 2.5 years, and I did not give 2 papers at once. I was just very sure that whatever paper that I give in any quarter, I need to make sure that I pass that. So that's really important. So quality over quantity any day. And then once, even if that's fine, even if you're giving 2 papers at once, I think a lot of people do give 2 papers at once, but plan your combinations accordingly, plan manageably, right? Because sometimes people take 2 heavy papers together, like PM and tax. It's the worst combination of all, right? We've already again made a video for the best combinations for the ACCA exam, so probably you can go and check that out as well. That's that. And the next thing I would say is about the integrated courses. Now you people would know, when you search about it, a lot of institutes or colleges even, they are offering BCom plus ACCA or MBA plus ACCA, something on those lines, right? But I genuinely feel that if we are doing a professional qualification, because what happens is, when you go to the integrated courses, they give you exemptions again, and that lands to the point that I talked about before as well, that exemptions are not always very good, especially for freshers. If you have experience, supposedly somebody is coming from CA, and like they have done the intermediate part of CA and they left CA and then they came to ACCA, or for example they have experience of 5-6 years in corporate or like job perspective, or for example you're already done with BCom and you're doing masters, then you're doing ACCA, that's fine if you take the exemptions. But for students who are just after their 12th, you cannot expect the same quality of education the institute is going to give you, which and compare it to the ACCA qualification, because once you get those exemptions, after that it becomes really very tough for the students to cope up with the ACCA pattern and examination, because it's not at all same to what we do in a normal Indian studies, right? So that's very different. Another thing I would point out with respect to this same is that you as a student, you should know why you are doing this particular qualification. What is the reason? Do you want career development? Do you want to add something to your resume? Do you actually like auditing, accounting? Does your job require it? What is the reason? Because until and unless, again, I think I've talked about this thing previously as well, that until and unless we ourselves know why we are doing a qualification, it does not make any sense of you doing a qualification because somebody else is saying that, right? So that's another thing which you have to keep in mind before or during your ACCA qualification journey. That's really very important. And yeah, that's that. But I would just, at the end, I would just say you that as an ACCA affiliate myself, I'm about to become a member. I have experience with dealing with ACCA students and basically the ACCA fraternity from, I think, from last 4 to 5 years. And I have been a student, I have been an affiliate, I'm still an affiliate, and I'll, in recent times I'll become a member as well. And I've learned one thing about the qualification is, it can if you're here in your professional journey, it can land up to you here, but then you have to put in that hard work, avoid any kind of loopholes, and just try and complete the qualification in the most honest format, right? So that's the only thing. And I hope that this video was helpful for everybody who's thinking of starting with the qualification. Do let us know if you have any doubts, any questions in the comments down below. You can also reach us out on our Instagram page, which is Being ACCA, and we'll be more than happy to help you in your ACCA journey. So all the very, very best.